Today's video is sponsored by Squarespace. Hello there everyone, I hope you're all doing well. Today, as per usual, Hazel has joined us and wants to be involved. But today I wanted to talk to you about 5 of my favorite summer herbs. Flowers. Summer flowers. Each of these are magical and medicinal in nature, but I will only be talking about their magical qualities in this video. It's something I'm very passionate about. I love working with flowers, and I feel like it's not something that I've given a lot of time on this channel for, so I thought it would be a good thing to talk about today. But before we dive in, this video is sponsored, so let's jump into that. Thank you to Squarespace for sponsoring this video. Squarespace is a website building and hosting company, and as I'm currently working on putting up a website, it is very exciting to get to partner with them. With Fluid Engine, a next-generation website design system from Squarespace, it's never been easier for anyone to unlock creative design. You get to start with a best-in-class website template and customize every detail with reimagined drag-and-drop technology for desktop or mobile. You can stretch your imagination when it comes to online design with Fluid Engine, built in and ready to go on any new Squarespace site. One thing I really love about Squarespace is their flexible website template. You get to get started with one of their professional website templates with designs for every category and use case. Then customize your look, update the content, and add features to fit your unique needs. You can make any Squarespace template do what you want, so your idea, brand, or business stands out online on every device and can be as unique to you as you dream. Another thing that I really love about Squarespace is the ease of working an online store. Whether you sell physical, digital, or service products, Squarespace has the tools you need to start selling online. So if this sounds interesting to you, go to squarespace.com/thegreenwitch to save 10% off your first purchase of a website or a domain. Thanks again to Squarespace for sponsoring, and let's get back to the video. Welcome back. So like I said, I have 5 flowers to... Oh, all right. Bye. So, like I said, I have 5 flowers today to talk about. Each of these are flowers I have worked with extensively in my practice, and ones that I absolutely adore. You will have seen me work with them in many, many videos here, and I have recipes involving each of them, if not combinations of them, all throughout my channel. They are wonderful flowers, very, very magically potent, medicinally potent, and just all around love them. Can't get enough of them. So the very first one I want to talk about is Calendula. Calendula is masculine in nature, and it ties to the element of fire and the sun. This makes it a very powerful and direct working herb. In order from greatest strength to least, its magical ties and properties include healing, happiness, love, protection, divination, dreams, and legal matters. Calendula is a medicinal herb, and it is best known for its healing powers. Magically, it can be added to spells for healing in many different ways, but I tend to like to use it as kind of a heal-all herb and add it to healing spells just for general health. It's very strong in this sense. It's also great for the skin medicinally, and so adding it to balms and healing things for even just a magical sense, adding it in that medicinal sense is also very useful. Calendula is also a very happy herb. There's some folklore that suggests even just looking at the plant is enough to bring happiness or cleanse negativity from the soul. It's also a very uplifting herb magically, so it can be used to help aid with grief or just general sadness. And this is especially useful when paired with rose, which is my favorite, but you can also do this with lavender, lemon balm, or lemon verbena. It also has rather strong ties to love, so a lot of practices involve adding it to a bath to increase your desirability. It's also very useful during love divinations, but the flowers can be used in divination in general, used to cleanse the space before working or to consecrate divinatory tools, or even just heighten the practice of it. Calendula also has protective properties. It can be planted or placed among the house for this sense. One tradition involves stringing a garland of calendula up over a doorway to keep all dark will from entering the home. It's popular to wear to protect the self, and it is also protective of sleep and dreams. And to tie back to its divinatory ties, it can be used to bring about prophetic dreams as well. And in its last note of legal matters, it can be used worn as an oil or on the body to help bring about the right kind of justice during legal battles. So all in all, calendula is a very fascinating flower, one with quite a few uses. While I do tend to primarily use it for its healing properties, it has many other very potent properties to it as well that should not be ignored. It is a fantastic happiness herb, and one that I have worked with in that sense before and have enjoyed the outcomes of those workings. And I also do like it for love and protection as well. Personally, I haven't experimented too much with the other parts of its ties, but they're part of its folklore for a reason. The next flower I want to talk about will come as no surprise to anybody at all, and that is chamomile. Chamomile is masculine in nature, and it ties to the element of water and the sun. Once again, a powerful but rather dynamic working herb. Its magical ties and properties, from most to least in strength, include healing, calm, sleep, happiness, purification, protection, love, and prosperity. Once again, chamomile is another one of those really beloved medicinal herbs. Thus, it has this very strong tie to healing, even in magic. Personally, I find its healing to best ease worries and help with sleep, other ties that it has, but it can also be used as a general healing herb in the same way calendula can. Chamomile is one of my favorite herbs to work with when it comes to easing anxiety. I work with it in magic in many, many different preparations for this, and it's one that I almost always turn to. I absolutely adore it. It is so gentle and very, very effective. It is also a fantastic sleep herb. There's a long history of use in its purpose in this sense to dispel nightmares, bring about easier sleep, all sorts of things just to make sleep better, and this can be done through many different preparations as well. And it also has ties to happiness, which makes sense to me. It is a very bright herb, and with its healing effects, that also tends to come hand in hand with happiness. Also, it's tied to the sun. It's also a fairly mild purifier. This is something I enjoy in more day-to-day workings, and especially in the summer when I feel like the energy is able to flow a little more smoothly. My windows are open more, the sun is out, which helps to cleanse. So working with chamomile as opposed to more powerful purifying herbs is typically my go-to this time of year. It's also a mild protective herb. It's not one that I typically would turn to for protective magic, but it is one that you can use this way, though it is considered to be a protector of the herbalist and the gardens they work in, which I do find to be a beautiful tie. Its ties to love are also there. I find them to be more minor than a lot of herbs, but I very much adore it in workings for self-love. I find it to be far more effective in this manner, but it can also be used to draw attention from people that you wish, or just increase desirability. But personally, I do think it's better suited to love for the self. And finally, its ties to prosperity are not one that I typically engage with because I do find other herbs better suited to it, but it is something that shouldn't be overlooked if you're in a pinch or if you feel particularly drawn to chamomile. The next herb I want to talk about is elder, and specifically elderflowers. Elder is feminine in nature, and it ties to water and the planet Venus. This makes it one of my favorite kinds of herbs to work with. I love how dynamic but strong these herbs tend to be, and elder is certainly no exception to that rule. Elder ties to protection, healing, and prosperity. Personally, I find the protective portion of elder to be its most valuable side. You can use the flowers in any sort of way to bring protection to yourself, to your home, to your family, to businesses. Elder truly is one of my all-time favorite herbs for protection. Healing-wise, I also really adore it. It's often used in magic to keep illnesses at bay and to help illnesses after someone has fallen ill. It is a good general healer in magic in that sense. And I should note at this point that magic should not ever be relied upon for healing. Always turn to medicine, but magic can be used in combination to bring about healing energies and just increase and help what is already being done. Additionally, elder is a fantastic prosperity herb. Personally, I tend to prefer the berries over the flowers for this, but the flowers can also be used in a pinch. But all in all, elder is just one of my all-time favorite protective herbs on this planet, and I really, really adore it, especially this time of year with the flowers as they're in bloom. Next, let's talk about another very beloved herb in the witchcraft community, and that is lavender. This is one that everybody adores. It is so versatile and powerful, and also just very lovely to work with. Lavender is masculine in nature. It ties to the element of air and the planet Mercury, making it also a very interesting and unique herb to work with. It's very well-rounded and moves in a interesting way. Its energy, I don't know how to describe it. I can see it. It's just a very good working herb. It ties to purification very strongly, love, healing, sleep, calm, happiness, and again, protection. It is a fantastic purifier. It is extremely strong in this sense and works in a more flowy way than a lot of other herbs work. A lot of the purifying herbs that we tend to work with that are strong purifiers are really forces to be reckoned with. They are intense and burn away systems. But lavender, like air, will kind of penetrate the space like air does. It's a little softer than flame, but it will get everything. Its ties to love are very strong. It's been used throughout centuries for many, many different purposes. It can be used in any sort of way to attract any kind of love or enhance any kind of love. That's one thing that's not always too typical of love, to see something this versatile, so that is valuable and beautiful. Its healing properties tie and come hand in hand with its sleep and calm abilities. It is a fantastic herb for bringing sleep and bringing about calm. Really do love it for these, almost as much as I do chamomile. Really, I think I'm just partial to chamomile for its flavor in this sense, but lavender will put you right to sleep if you need it to, and bring quite a bit of calm as well. Though I do tend to love it for its happiness properties, and I add it to a lot of baked goods for this purpose. It also does tie to protection. I do find there are better herbs suited for protection, but it is, once again, one that if you want to work with it, feel drawn to it, or are in a pinch, it will do. And finally, I want to talk about rose. Rose is feminine in nature. It ties to water and to Venus. Again, one of my favorite combinations here. Its magical properties include love, healing, protection, secrets, calm, divination, luck, and strength. Love, we know. Rose is the classic love flower, and this is true in magic as well. It can be used for any purpose. A lot of people use the colors of the flower to decide what purpose to work and weave in the love sense. But I personally think you can use any rose as long as you speak your intention to it. It is a very powerful plant when it comes to love, and really is a good first choice for most options. I really like it in its healing sense to kind of cleanse away stuck energy in a sense. It helps you to feel a little bit more enlivened. It's also a fantastic protective herb. The thorns are typically what I would turn to work it into protection, but overall the plant does house that power. genuinely one of the better herbs to turn to for personal protection or protection of a loved one. It can be used to find secrets through divination, adding the flowers to divinatory practices in that sense. And it's also another calming herb. I like to work with this for its scent or in tea form for this, usually in tandem with other herbs and flowers that I've mentioned so far. But it's balancing, it brings harmony and peace in these practices, which is really valuable. And like noted with the secrets, it can be used in other divinations in general as well as an aid, especially things like dreams, to help bring up prophetic dreams or just to dig deeper in them. It's also a very lucky herb, and if you're someone who wants to carry around a bit of extra luck, adding a few rose blossoms would be a good move. And my favorite tie is the tie to strength. It brings courage and confidence, and while this is more of a minor property of it, it shouldn't be overlooked. It does work well in this regard. So with that, these are the 5 flowers that I absolutely adore and could not live without in the summer months. I personally keep quite the store of them all year round in dried selections, but they are most potent fresh, and I love getting to work with them this time of year. If you have any other flowers that you love to work with and couldn't live without, let me know about them. I would love to either learn a bit more about some, delve deeper into some, or just be reminded of some that I already love, and I very much look forward to future workings with all of these. I will be sharing a lot of those workings on my other channel if you're interested in that. That will be linked down below. I also have a Patreon where I have profiles of each of these herbs written out if you're interested. Patreon, I share art, herbal profiles, book recommendations, monthly workshops, and all sorts of things. I love it over there, and it's a great community that really keeps this channel and my other channel alive. I also wrote a book where you can find these profiles and many more. It is all about herbal magic and spellcraft and will bring the beginner to the intermediate, if not a little further. So if any of those things sound interesting to you, they will all be linked down below in my description. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you've had a lovely day, and I can't wait to see you again soon.